Hello, this is Freddy Lim, vocalist of CHTHONIC and a member of Taiwan's parliament. Hello, Freddy Lim です。Sonic のボーカルと台湾の国会議員です。
Hi, this is Audrey Tang, Taiwan's digital minister. 私はデジタル担当大臣です。
Audrey and I have been friends for almost 20 years. 20 years ago, Audrey used to come to our shows, even our band practices. I have hung out with Audrey and her friends a lot, learning coding and exchanging crazy ideas.
Yeah, that was around the turn of the century, about 2001, and I was running my third startup. My co-founder, Gao Jialiang, actually appeared in one of the Sonic tracks. And so, yeah, we were fans of Sonic. We were often coding throughout the night, and we listened to the metal music. It's actually more effective than caffeine.
Correct. And since 2016, I've been elected to the parliament, and Audrey has become digital minister in the cabinet. I think this is something we totally could not have expected 20 years ago. Even more, Audrey has guested CHTHONIC for a special show in Megaport Festival on March 27, 2021. It might be the only mass rock festival in the world that was held as scheduled under the COVID pandemic.
Yeah, Taiwan adopted a fast, fair, fun response, and we really thank the people of Taiwan for responding to the pandemic in such an all-of-society way, so that we get to enjoy for the past, I think more than half a year now, not just the Megaport Festival, which as you can see is a lot of people, but also baseball games, movies, and so on. And I think Sonic also helped out by designing and distributing some special masks. We now have specialty masks for all those large gatherings, and people wear it for all day long because of the design.
Now the show's video has been uploaded online. Since there are deeper meanings in the music we play, we decided to make this reaction introduction video to share with all the fans and friends around the world.
Awesome. So Freddy, would you like to recap what we have just said in Nihongo for our Japanese audience, because we know we've got a lot of people in Japan.
Yeah,
listening.
I'll try. みんな知っている通り、俺と踊りたんは2000年頃からの親友だ。3月のメガポートフェスで踊りと公演した時の映像が今ネットで見られるぜ。では今回の演出について簡単に紹介する。日本語があまり得意ではないので英語を中心に紹介するけど許してくれよ。
そうですね。Well, now without further ado, let's begin.
This song is called Ocean Quake, which was originally included in the Takasako Army album in the 2011. But compared to the original version, this one is a drum and bass remix arranged by a cool Taiwanese DJ called Trustkey. Since Audrey is all about digital, technical, Trustkey has rearranged and remixed our songs to fit in Audrey's image and voices.
Yeah, it's a really nice collaboration with Trustkey. I think because I already opened up all my photos and so on, so I'm not new to being sampled. There's a rap band called Dos Monos in Japan that previously sampled my interview voices into their rap bands. However, this is the first time that my image has been sampled this way.
Check this out, this is Audrey's voice with the machine effect. And I'm dubbing her in this part.
Yeah, Freddy recorded some vocal guide for me so that I get to just pronounce the Daigi correctly according to the lyrics. But the lyrics has been translated to really good English. On the other hand, the translation doesn't really tell the whole story. For example, this one is about the Takasako Army.
Yeah. Taiwan had been Japanese colony for half a century, and there were more than 200,000 people recruited by Japan to fight in the Pacific War as imperial soldiers or military personnel. This song Ocean Quake and the album Takasako Army are about those people. The album is not to worship war, but to reflect the entangled emotions in a world of many Taiwanese. For example, some people go to the battlefield in the mindset to prove that they are not lesser people compared to the real Japanese. But in the end, they might just lose their lives for a colonial empire that they didn't identify with. I think it's very sad.
Yeah, I was reading this novel called Lady Butterfly of Formosa, soon be done in a public TV series called Sikalu. And it talks about right before the Japanese colonization, the indigenous people in Taiwan and how they relate to one another. They're actually the first to sign a peace treaty with the US government, so it's also really recommended reading. So let's maybe recap in Japanese again.
Yeah. この曲は高砂アーミーに収録されているオーシャンクエイ、日本のファンが愛してくれている曲で、太平洋戦争に参戦した台湾軍の物語だ。これがアルバムバージョンとは異なることに気づくかもしれないけど、踊りとのコラボレーションのため特別に DJ トラスキーを頼んでアレンジしてもらったんだ。
そうですね。So we're partway throughout the song, and I like just to use this opportunity to highlight that this is only possible because of the citizens' contribution. So Taiwan actually sees democracy as a strength, not a weakness, when countering the pandemic. And I think Freddy's opening speech here, greeting the people of Takao, of Kaohsiung, is actually one of the main ideas. With the people's participation, we can enjoy this kind of all-of-society response. And the technological applications too. In Taiwan, many people know that we've got the mask rationing system, nowadays the vaccination and so on, and all of that are empowered by people developing their code to deploy and to make sure that it runs more smoothly.
Yes, and there have also been so many online live broadcasts during the epidemic in all the countries, in different countries. So, but for me, the real live performances that can connect with thousands of fans are still irreplaceable.
Yeah, I really like how Freddy greeted people first in the field, but then from afar, online people. So it's obviously that in Taiwan, we're now living in a kind of hybrid times. To connect to our international friends, of course, we cannot travel freely just yet. But on the other hand, in Taiwan, we all are very happy to share what we are experiencing as a kind of vision of a post-COVID life with people around the world, and also share what we have learned in 2003 during the SARS pandemic that we turned into the Central Epidemic Command Center in 2004 that enabled us to counter the pandemic so successfully. We're also happy to help out to everyone around the world to build such an institution after the COVID-19 pandemic.
And hopefully that the fans and audience can still remember how it feels like to connect with people in such kind of mass event. I think that's something very means a lot to a lot of people, especially the music fans.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. I think Freddy talked just about the importance of solidarity for all the people, not just Taiwanese people, but also the resolve to overcome this together. I think that's really well put. So Freddy is now saying the world's watching. And we'll make it a live video.
Yeah. This song is called Supreme Pain for the Tyrant. It's to commemorate those who bravely resisted the dictator and inspired by the assassination of Jiang Jingguo. After World War II, the Japanese government left Taiwan, and the Allies, later the United Nations, sent the Republic of China government, aka the KMT government, from China as the trustee administration to rule Taiwan. But then they were kicked out by the Chinese communists from China and had no way to go. So they stayed in Taiwan and started 38 years, the world's longest period of martial law ruling. In this time period, there were many touching stories of resistance.
Yeah, because we had the longest martial law in the history of the world, there's many stories to be told. And I really like Sonic in the sense that it's not just about one special angle or one special culture, rather it's from the various cultures in Taiwan. Nowadays, of course, we've got 20 national languages, 16 of which indigenous. I actually first learned about the name of the indigenous gods and goddesses from the Sonic songs, because those gods fought with the mainland Chinese gods and so on. And so I think this is really worth not just remembering, but turned into a new form of transcultural identity in today's Taiwan. And the internet, I think, is also a great place so that people can see the same historical event, but from the viewpoint of various different cultures.
Yeah, I think no matter it's gods or goddess from the indigenous cultures or from the local Taoist culture, I think to connect with those powers or supernatural powers, that I think it can help us to strengthen our powers and to conquer all the difficulties in our lives. So I know that some fans, they listen to our songs when they are facing their own difficulties in their real lives, but also enjoy the music and metal. I think that's some. I don't know if some other kind of music genre has this kind of can contribute to us in this way, but I think metal is the strongest genre that can drive you and to find your potential.
That's right. It like packs the emotions together in a very dense way, and I think also that people listening to it understand the heaviness of the memories before it, but also gains the courage to create toward the future.
Yeah. So this song also has another version. Last year we worked with Matt Heafy from Trivium, an excellent American metal band, and released a special version of Supreme Pain for the Tyrant. Please find it online.
Alright, Nihongo time.
Hi, yeah. 日本のファンも好きな曲 Supreme Pain for the Tyrant。2013年のオリジナルバージョンと今回踊りとのコラボレーションバージョンに加えて、実は去年日本ですごく人気があるアメリカのバンド Trivium のボーカルマシュー・ヒフィとのコラボレートも存在するんだ。聞きたい人はぜひネットで探してみてくれ。
そうですか。I think these were the last words of the assassin, right?
Hey, check this part. The soprano is sung by Audrey.
Yeah, I remember I did this in one take, and I was practicing actually for just 1 minute before entering the recording studio. And of course, it didn't end up perfectly. We had to edit a little bit, but at least I got a pitch right.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah.
But I was kind of being a bit picky, so I asked her to do again and again. But actually, the first take is the best.
That's right. That's right. And yeah, I've been singing a lot since when I was really young. I was part of the choir, the Taipei Philharmonic, when I was 12. Even tour a little bit in the U.S. And so I'm no stranger in singing. But I really like how this composition merges kind of the classical with the metal, and I think it's really inspiring.
This song is originally included in the album Battlefields of Ashura in 2018. It was the 3rd year of my first term in the parliament. The songs I wrote in the early years were usually inspired by Taiwan's history and myths, but in this album, I also expressed a lot of emotions that I experienced after entering politics, especially the negative parts, such as anger, sadness, frustration, and so on. So thank God I have music, I can settle my mood through music. But Audrey, I feel like you are always happy and optimistic. Do you have negative emotions? How do you deal with them?
I just sleep for 8 hours a day. So every time I feel sadness or anger or whatever, I just go to sleep. And if I sleep for 8 full hours, I just wake up with a new outlook on things. And also because I work on Siri, the Apple chatbot, right, for 6 years before entering the cabinet. So when people talk to me in a way that's like talking to Siri, you can try to provoke Siri, but Siri doesn't get mad. For us, it's just corpus, meaning that it's just material for us to use in our programming. That's how I look at it.
Maybe not everybody can do it in the same way, but yeah, that's a good example.
Right. I think there's another.
Yeah, 注目。この曲の最終と最後でソプラノを歌っているのが実は踊りなんだ。
It turned black.
Check out. This is when you hack the stage.
Just a couple more seconds. People was looking very puzzled.
They didn't know what's happening.
Yeah, I was in Danshui, in Tansui.
今天很高兴面到灯红开场，还是明显演出，不止在舞台上，也穿梭在大家身边，闪亮大家的光。大家准备好了没有？好了。大家准备好了吗？下周牧场。
Yeah, it was literally on the other side of Taiwan, right, in Danshui, while it happened on the southern stage of Kaohsiung.
I think the crowd feel like you are in their brain.
That's right, that's right. I literally said that I'm in your brain.
Yeah. So this song, you spend the most time practicing this one. So how do you feel about the complicated structure of metal music? Especially it's filled with so many different emotions.
Yeah. My introduction to this song was from the acoustic version. I think it was released a year after the metal version, right, in 2014. So that was right after the Sunflower movement. And the MV, I think, is really illustrative of the more densely packed images we were just talking about in the original metal version. But instead of using sound, it conveys it through images.
Yeah. But actually, this song is very long. So how did you remember the lyrics? Even myself, I'm the songwriter. I can't remember all of it.
Oh yeah, it's very easy. I just put it on the loop for the past 6 years. Yeah, but I didn't listen to the metal for 6 years. I listened to I think the collaboration was with Hajime Chitose.
Yeah, Hajime Chitose. Yeah. So yeah, this song has an acoustic version. Check that out, featuring Hajime Chitose is a Japanese folk singer. So it's a version loved by cross-generation Taiwanese, not just Audrey, but also a lot of elders too. So metalheads online here should also check that out.
Yeah, I think the acoustic version really told a story that people of all generations can relate to. It's about the loss and the rediscovery of the family's histories and so on.
Yeah, and also I think the acoustic version shows to the people who are not metal fans, knowing that even screaming kinds of metal are melodic. So yeah, you can try to find how to get yourself into the metal version.
That's right. It's like a gateway.
Yes. この曲は踊りが一番うまい曲だね。きっと踊りがコンピューターのように記憶力をアップさせるトレーニング方法を教えてくれたからみんなやってみてくれよ。
この6年間ずっと聴いていました。
この曲は実は別のアコースティックバージョンがある。なんと日本のはじめ千歳さんとコラボレートしているからネットで探してみてほしい。きっと気に入ってくれると思うよ。Those papers that crowd throwing in the air, that is called hell money, hell currency.
Hell currency.
Yeah. So in Taiwanese culture, we use those papers for like
the cash transfer to the ancestors.
Yes. Yeah. So most of the crowds that throw in those hell currency in our shows, they feel like to connect with the characters in our songs in this way. So yeah, it has been like a tradition since 1996 or 1997.
Oh, wow.
So it has been more than 20
long time
years.
ago.
Yeah. So this is the part that I appreciated, the fans who brought the flags that represent the oppressed people around the world.
Yeah, I think the hell money which is, of course, a specialty in such concerts, really shows that people care, not just about the deceased people fighting for their freedom, but also connecting the work that we are doing right now, struggling for freedom, not just for Taiwanese people, but also for the oppressed people around the world. Yeah, Taiwan is part of the UNPO, which is the organization to represent unrepresented people, and so we are the part of that. Yeah, so I think one of the main idea in Taiwan is that although we're not officially recognized in many multilaterals, we're strong enough so that these oppressed people, if they want to speak to international journalists, if they want to run Oslo Freedom Forum, if they want to have an event that speaks their platform, Taiwan is a safe place for them to do so. That's why they flock to Taiwan. Essentially, we're kind of a safe harbor for that cause.
Yeah, especially when there are a lot of Asian countries, democracy going backwards recent years.
Yeah.
So I think Taiwan is really important, especially in this Indo-Pacific region, that for those oppressed people can still stay optimistic, and if they have regional works that they need to do, they can set up their offices and headquarters here in Taiwan. I think now, at least now, it's still safe here, and hopefully, it will be even more safer.
Yeah, I think. Right. So Freddy was just enumerating all the oppressed people in our region. Yeah.
But later we will come back to this topic.
Yeah, but now just appreciate the flags. Yeah, these flags represent those unrepresented people.
迫害维吾尔人的独裁政府而已啊！所以这是我们最值得珍惜，我们还可以在这边，我们这个珍贵的这个国家虽然很小，但是就像大改开唱，所有的歌手、乐团、创作者不会被任何一个独裁政府要求你写什么歌、表什么态、支持他的那一些。
Yeah, there are LGBTQ rights flags as well. So
and climate justice, environmental justice.
Yeah, and there is an NGO village in the festival. So I think it's just like international rock festivals. That's happened in the Western rock festivals as well.
Well, hopefully soon. Yeah.
Yes, hopefully they will. I have seen they started to sell tickets for this year. So hopefully, yeah.
蓝天新月旗是代表维吾尔人的。我想这样子自由的声音，没有人压迫，没有独裁政府要求你表态。
Yeah, I've watched the commentary in real time on online TV and many places. Many people said that Freddy is very much like the legislator in this part, speaking on the parliamentary floor.
Yeah, I can't help it.
所以，我希望所有受压迫的民族都可以看到这一场演唱会，这一群可爱的台湾人，因为全世界不只是这些人，大家都可以看到越来越多的人站出来，每一个角落都有支持你们的人，你们并不孤单。下一首歌
But I have seen some people have their aluminum foil. Yeah, with their aluminum foil.
That's right. Yeah, we noted that there's actually a tinfoil component as part of the harmony. So
Yes.
Right, it's a running joke that says that Audrey's brainwave gets amplified by tinfoil, and so all those harmony certainly also amplified the brainwaves.
像刚刚第一首《正阳》，整个被他改得很像 drum and bass。
So this is another song that was rearranged to the drum and bass version. Because of what I said publicly before, I promised my fans that if the Megaport Festival was held as scheduled, I will get my fit body back and take off my shirt in the show. So you're gonna see I take off my shirt later in the song. I think my fans know that I have always maintained fit in the past, but after entering politics, and especially having a baby in 2017, I didn't have enough time to exercise, so I was a little out of shape. But my daughter went to kindergarten last year, thank God. So I had a little more time to work out. Now I divide my workout time into many small pieces. The total time of exercise is almost half an hour per day. But do you work out? Or what exercise do you do?
Yeah, so I was born with a congenital heart disease, so I could not exercise at all for the first 12 years of my life. The most I can do is just to walk around and so. So I used to walk half an hour to work because the Social Innovation Lab, which is the middle of Taipei, is really close to where I live and used to take like 20 minutes to get there early in the morning, and I often walk back. But after the pandemic and after, I don't know, I get quite popular as part of the counter-pandemic effort, I've got a lot of people just wanting to share their innovations with me. So the 20 minutes walk become 30 minutes, became 40 minutes. And when it reached almost 50 minutes, I can't really walk to work anymore. And so I was not exercising a lot during the year of 2020 and the shows. So nowadays, of course, I've resumed my walking exercise and so on. So I've also dropped like 5 kilograms in the past few months. So yeah, I should be more fit now compared to a year ago.
"みんなは俺の体が鍛えられていたことを覚えているかい？でも精子のことや子供の世話もあり、少し太くなってしまった。だからメカポートフェイスに出演するために鍛え直してきたぜ。
なるほどね。
But I don't know how long I can maintain this because I feel sore everywhere now. I'm old. I can't exercise like I used to be anymore.
The next one is also very famous. Got a lot of listeners in Hong Kong.
Yeah. I think because this song was originally guested by Dennis Ho. She is a singer from Hong Kong who became a democratic icon of Hong Kong in recent years.
Yeah, I met, I think you were also in the Oslo Freedom Forum when Denise visited Taiwan a couple years ago. And I remember I got so inspired by your musical work. I've also, sang a lot during my keynote at the Oslo Freedom Forum. And it feels quite personal to me also because when I was growing up, that was in the 80s in Taiwan, it seemed like at the time because we didn't have the complete press freedom, so for many human rights violations and so on, we rely on the international correspondent in Hong Kong to report what's going on in Taiwan to the world. So the world will apply pressure to the ruling party in Taiwan so that we can keep them out of jail or at least not get tortured in jail. And so Hong Kong used to play this kind of role for the Taiwanese human rights workers. Yes. And now it seems like it's entirely reversed. Now we are playing this role for the human rights workers in Hong Kong.
Yeah, it's a bit sad. Hopefully the situation in Hong Kong will be better. And they can gain their freedom back. Following the earlier topic, I also appreciate the fans who brought the flags that represent oppressed people to the show. And as I can recall, I've seen Tibetan flags, Hong Kong flags, Uyghur flags, Myanmar flags, etc. in the Megaport Festival. And like I have said, that this is something that happens in many rock festivals too. I think this shows the true spirit of rock music to support the people who are under oppression, to fight against absolute power, and to embrace diverse progressive values.
Yeah, the internet culture, especially the earliest hacker cultures, has that part as well, because internet is, for many people in the oppressed regimes, the only way they can work without worrying about censorship, the way that they can act as journalists, as whistleblowers, as people who work with the oppressed people, or if they cannot just get their voice out directly, at least through kind of hiding their messages. This is what we call steganography, hiding the messages within the plain languages or the plain pictures. So while you're sharing cat pictures online, maybe some of them contains hidden messages from the people in the oppressed regimes. So I personally worked on many of those technologies. For example, the Freenet, which is like a prototype to the Tor system that still many human rights workers work today to bypass the now more authoritarian internet. So I think there's this natural affinity between hackers who work to advance the freedom of speech and people who work in the rock world and the metal world to advance the freedom of expression.
Yeah, I can remember when I was the chair of Amnesty International Taiwan. I've been to many international human rights conferences and who invited a lot of hackers to join the meetings and to share more ideas how we can make our activities more successful and to connect with the people on the ground.
That's right. The hacker activists, there's a word for it. It's called hacktivist.
Yeah.
Right? So in a sense, we're hacktivists.
Yes. So I think it's very important for us Taiwanese people to show our firm stance. It's not only in the solidarity with those who are under oppression, but also in defending our own existence, since we are in the front line against the authoritarian government. So the Taiwanese government has implemented some policies or resolutions to support Hong Kong activists and Myanmar people, etc. recently.
Yeah, I've watched the live stream of your press conference about those announcements from the parliament. So I guess Megaport was like dress rehearsal.
Yes. この曲のオリジナルバージョンはデニス・ホーが歌っていた歌手だけでなく、香港の民主主義活動家の代表でもあるメガポートフェスでは多くのファンが香港、ウイグル、チベット、ミャンマーを支援する旗を掲げる。これはさまざまな抑圧された人々をサポートするためによくやること。これは重要なロックスピリットでもある。
そうですね。
我知影，等下，我会先甲咱赶快吼，伫咧咱的荧幕头前的遐个阿篤啊，甲因讲话一下啦吼，要不伊感觉甲咱拢无 connection。
So in this part, I introduced 陈其迈. He is the mayor of Kaohsiung, the city where the Megaport Festival was held. Mayor Chen has been a Megaport fan for years. As I can recall, more than 5 years, 6 years, yeah. So, and he was elected as mayor last year. I don't know if this is something that only happens in Taiwan. A metal singer becomes a member of the parliament. A metal fan who is also a technology genius becomes a digital minister in the cabinet. And a festival goer becomes a mayor.
Right. So before serving as the Kaohsiung City Mayor, Chen Qimai worked as the Deputy Premier, Vice Premier in our cabinet, and he actually is in charge of a lot of the public policies in the early counter-pandemic days. So including the mask production plan, the mask rationing plan, and the advanced development plan on vaccines. We're getting our local vaccines. I think 2 of them are in phase 2 now. and all this were led by VP Chen Qimai at the time. So I think the Vice Premier and now, of course, Kaohsiung City Mayor is a really interesting figure in that he just acts as a regular metal fan here, right? So if you just look at a screen of him holding the Megaport banner, you wouldn't associate that with the leadership figure in the counter-pandemic
Yeah,
time.
I think the other fans might not recognize that. Wow, he's Mayor Chen, and then but
That's right.
he's been
He
pointed
doesn't
out
have
by
any
me.
entourage, right? There's nobody near him, that, like his bodyguards or anything like that. Yeah, I think he in one of the earlier megaports that he attended, he also did this surfing, right? With the crowd.
Yes. So yeah, so that's why I say I don't know if it's only happened in Taiwan because it's something really weird for me. I can't recall anything like this when I tour in the Western world. Yeah.
Right. That's Mayor Chen Qimai right
太
here.
空人变成立法委员，变成政委，变成市长，都要继续来大港开唱，好不好？
Yeah, I ask the fans that no matter in the future you become a mayor, a member of the parliament, or a minister in the cabinet, or in any other position in the society, you have to go to the festivals like you used to be, like always.
Yeah, that's really awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the megaport, the port, actually referred to the city.
Yeah.
It's the Kaohsiung city.
Yeah. And because it's mega.
It's mega. It's a very large city.
Large.
It's a metropolitan city.
Yes.
Yeah. Right.
So now the listeners, the audience who are in front of your screen, you can follow Takao. Yeah, repeating Takao.
Takao was the original name of
Yeah.
Kaohsiung.
Yeah. And also the song title. So, yeah, like Audrey just said that Takao is actually the old name of the city, Kaohsiung, located in the south. I know that there are a lot of people overseas who are planning to visit Taiwan after the pandemic. Come. Please visit places besides the capital city, Taipei. In addition to Takao, which is an amazing city you should visit, Taiwan also has beautiful mountains and rich coastal landscapes. There are traditional Taoist folk cultures and diverse indigenous culture from south to north, from west to east, from the mountain island, from the main island to the outer islands. There are fruitful places for people to explore. Since our songs are related to many Taiwanese cultures, you should try exploring Taiwan while listening to our music. It will be quite an unique experience.
That's right. And I think if you want to visit during the pandemic, you can actually do so. There's more than 2,000 people who have never been to Taiwan, nevertheless visited while enjoying the healthcare using the Gold Card program. So if you're interested in that, search for Taiwan Gold Card. Now for our Nihongo audience.
Yeah, ファンのみんなはこの高尾という曲に耳なじみがあると思う。この中が好きれば多くの日本人が台湾に遊びに来てくれると信じている。その時には高尾にも忘れずに来てほしい。ソニックの曲を聴きながら台湾のさまざまな場所を探索してくれればまた特別な感動を感じられると思うよ。
Yeah, we're close to the end of this song, and while I was only virtually there, this is the part where I really feel that I was in the crowd singing with all the people in the Megaport Festival. It is truly special. And I think if you visit Taiwan, you will get into many of these kind of fields, not just on the rock or metal festivals, but also, for example, there's this tour of goddesses that we just concluded just a few days ago, and it's truly a magical experience. Freddy talked about a Taoist folk religion. These are just 3 words, but if you are in this crowd of tens of thousands of people, you actually feel the power of the goddess Mazu or many other goddesses in Taiwan that really unites people together in all the disasters, typhoons, earthquake, and so on that has hit Taiwan, regardless of the age, of the background, of the ethnicity, and so on. People are united, just like with music here, to overcome disaster after disaster, which is why I often think of Taiwan as an island of resilience.
Yeah. So, thank you all for watching this video or listening to the podcast. I hope to meet you all in Taiwan.
Yes, definitely. Live long and prosper, everyone.
Okay.
Yay, we're done.